Winter is coming.
Hey, it's Kat, and I'm back. Funny, somebody asked me a little question, did I live in a cave? And the answer is no, but I do live with other people, so you got to get where you can get to make a little recording. So I apologize for the quality of the video, but hopefully information provided will give you an idea where the story's going. So today I want to talk about the tree, Bran and Bloodraven, and I've already talked about it in another video. This kind of making the rounds about Bloodraven being Merlin in a tree, which is I think pretty representative. But let's talk about what the tree is in the series in the book. So first, a shout out to the Queen of Sevens, who reminded me to go over and check out Ideas of Fire and Ice, or is it Ideas of Ice and Fire? He has a little video over there that I'm going to try to link up in the description, talking about the trees in the book, or in the several books. One of those trees is Yig, which is the evil tree, or at least the Ironborn thought it was an evil tree, and so they cut it down long time ago in history and made a longboat out of it. And then he talked about the trees for the children of the forest, how the children of the forest talked about their spirits would go into these were trees. And there's a little history of the first men leaving their condemned, or they're dying at the foot of these trees, and adopting the sort of the faith a little bit, or the ideas of the children of the forest. So those are really important, and you should drop over there and check him out. He has the lowdown on that. Let's talk about what the tree is in our mythology and or history. Previously, I talked about Ragnarok and Norse mythology. So in Norse mythology, the tree is the tree of all knowledge. And if you know the story, Odin went to the tree and gave up an eye to get all the knowledge of the world, so that he becomes Odin the Allfather, who knows everything. And in other stories, I think you'd probably be more familiar with the tree of knowledge, in which Eve ate the apple from the tree and gained knowledge, and she looked at Adam and said, "Oh damn, we're naked." So so that's sort of the tree. It's the tree of knowledge. But in this story, also kind of amalgamating Druidic religious or faith, that the tree kind of represents the nature, or the all, and that we all go back to the all. It goes back to that idea that God woke man with a breath from his nostril, and created this divine spark, and then created him from clay. So ashes to ashes and dust to dust. From dust you came, dust you shall return, etc., etc. That's the concept that's going on here in this story. That you become part of the all, and so as part of the all, it's all the knowledge of everybody that's ever been, and that includes the good people and the bad. Remember the gentleman over the Jaqen over at the House of Black and White? He asks Arya, "Do only the bad people die?" And the answer is no, of course. Good and bad, discussed this before, death comes for us all. So it all goes into the tree. Now you have to recall what happened. What did Bran see while he was hanging out there in the tree? He saw how the children made the others, right? He tied them to that tree, the tree of knowledge, or the tree of all, and then they drove a shard of dragon glass through his heart, and it acted like a conduit for certain kinds of magic. And in this case, it was like the bad magic, or the bad knowledge, or the bad information, because remember, everybody goes into the trees, or into the all. So this is what that tree represents. So who is Bloodraven? Is Bloodraven Bran, and is Bran Bloodraven sometime in the future? Blah blah blah. No, and no. So Bloodraven is the messenger. He's a conduit as well. Oh, I just got rained on. He's a conduit. He's not Bran. He was really Bloodraven, And at some point, maybe we find out in the story, I talked about, you know, Merlin's past or history or what happened to him, how he got stuck in a tree or a tomb. And that is probably he was out ranging. This is going to be my guess. Bloodraven's out ranging. And, you know, Leaf says, hey, come in here to this cave because it's snowing and cold and you might die, or something of that nature. And he goes in the cave and he discovers, you know, he discovers the tree, and he hooks up to the tree and he gets this information, or he starts becoming like the conduit. He's the messenger. Remember, maybe you don't remember because you haven't seen my other video. The raven is the messenger. Remember, the ravens are the messengers in the story. The Meisters use the ravens to send messages, and so does the tree. He shapeshifts into a raven because that's what people are familiar with. And in myths and legends of our human race, the messenger was always the raven. Remember, Edgar Allan Poe says, quoth the raven nevermore. And we also had this thing about ravens being the portenders of bad messages, or doom or something of that nature. So that's the deal. So that's the tree. Bloodraven was just a guy who ended up going into this cave and hooking up with the tree, and the all-knowing was using him as a conduit. Now I think that, you know, so keeping that in mind, so Bloodraven's a guy, he's a man, and so men must die. Men die. Valar Margulis. All men must die. And so that's what was basically happening to him. So the tree needed another conduit. Now how does it communicate with humans? Because humans don't live as close to nature anymore as they used to. So obviously he's been sending dreams, but again, you know, humans, the way they think about dreams, not everybody thinks dreams are messages. Some people do. Even today, people believe that they receive some sort of message or information from their dreams, but most people think that your dreams are just the things that, you know, are bothering you, or your brain processing information or whatever. So they don't look at it as messages. So you think about the tree, or the all-knowing, whatever's in this tree. The tree, again, is sort of like just an embodiment of that. That the all-knowing is trying to send information to humans saying, doom is coming, Ragnarok is coming, the apocalypse or whatever is about to come, and you need to do things, or you need to be in places. So how does he get people, you know, in time, being circular? I'll go back to that. How do you send messages to people they need to do something when you're trying to send them dreams and they're like, you know, well, what are you going to do? Especially if Bloodraven's dying. Well, you need a new one, and that's Bran. So Jojen is getting his dreams, and he, you know, sends, or he takes Bran to this tree so that Bran could get the information that's necessary to stop whatever's happening. And think about the tree as well. The tree being yin and yang, or both the good and the bad. And so now the bad is in the others, R'hllor R and the Great Other. All of these things are this similar concept. So the tree is not all good and bad, and Ragnarok's going to come over and over again. So what does he do? He gives Bran the knowledge. He uses Bran as a conduit. So no, Bran is not Bloodraven in the physical sense, and Bloodraven isn't Bran from the future or any of that other stuff. They're two separate people. They're the conduits for the all-knowing. And now that's Bran. So Bran has all the information. Bran has all the information that's necessary now to stop the coming doom. Stop Ragnarok, or whatever that's coming. And do I think Bran's going to stay unconscious? The answer is no. Because right now he's just getting all the information. If you remember, Bloodraven was actually awake while he was sitting in this tree, and he talked to Bran sort of separately from the all-knowing, although I think a lot of people kind of thought maybe he was just sort of a spiritual figure of this concept, but no. So he's separate, and I believe that Bran will wake up as well, because he needs to share his information. because the others are coming. Winter is coming, so he needs to share his information and get it out to other people. And also, I believe that Bran is the blacksmith in the 7, and I'm going to explore that in the next video. So thank you very much. Hope this information was helpful in kind of understanding what's going on, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.